Hi everybody, Mike here. Thanks for watching. We're going flying today. We are out here in the middle of nowhere and we're going to fly to the mountain up here where there's still some snow and see if we can get some shots of cruising around the snow. So I'm going to take it nice and easy and conservative, and so we'll just get up and get back and just see how this looks, and if it looks really good we'll come back another day before all the snow melts. As usual, we're flying the long-range Naked Blackmagic Cinelifter. It's got 10,000 milliamp power battery on it, and it takes really good video. This HD-Zero Sharkbite VTX gets artifacts when it starts to get warm. We got an extra cooling fan on here that two extra cooling fans that I've put on here, and they run by another battery, and that helps quite a bit. So let's get in the air and see what happens. And the wind is kind of squirrely over here near this waterfall, but I'm hoping it'll be a little better up there.
Mike here from the future. I'm going to add some voiceover to fill in some of the gaps when I'm not talking during the flight. But I took off quickly because the wind's blowing, just to get up and away from the trees. What I'm going to do here is turn around and take a look at the home point, just so I can make a mental picture of it.
Okay, 135, 150 feet. Turn around, look at home.
That scar that scar there in the woods.
It's home with yellow.
That yellow bank, that's the home point there, so I'll remember that.
Flying.
During the flight here, I'll take a close look and monitor the amp draw,
50.
altitude, my altitude, distance, and how hard I'm pushing the motors during this climb.
Still flying. All right. 300 amps, 30 miles an hour.
In the middle right is the speed and the altitude, about 30 miles an hour, 32, 370 feet up.
All right, we're doing 400, 500 milliamps, 4 miles an hour. That's bars.
Middle left at the 9 o'clock position is the amps used.
Feet out, 26 miles an hour, 500 feet. Good.
Right now we got about 650 milliamps used, and I'm watching.
200 feet out, 600 milliamps.
I'm watching how hard I'm pushing the motors there at the lower left.
All right, let's go flying.
The amp draw on the motors around 30 amps, give or take. Distance is in the middle.
40 amps. A little bit of a bump.
This battery pack, I don't like to push the motors more than around 50 amps at the most.
31 miles an hour, 900. Amps here, 1,000.
So I'm not pushing the motors very hard, just to save the battery power for the flight. Right in the middle 2 o'clock position is a dark spot.
Get over to here, we'll get a little signal breakup.
I'm going to check that out. There's a little waterfall there in the corner. I'm not going to spend much time there because the the exposure is set for the snow, not for a shadow area.
Okay.
Just going to take a peekaboo at this for future reference, and then head on back up the climb.
Good. 1400.
1400 milliamps used so far. Middle left.
Going up to the rock wall. The white triangle.
Those are references to landmarks.
1500.
The white triangle's right in the middle. That's a snow patch.
Rock wall.
The rock wall is right there at the 2 o'clock position. Those are visual landmarks that guide me up this slope. I've looked at this with a telescope prior to plan a line up this valley and up to the snowbanks so that I don't lose line of sight.
1700 amps.
My biggest fear on this flight is getting over the top of the ridge and going over a hilltop and losing my FPV feed. So when I get up here, that's will become apparent. Just pushing the motors easy.
Okay, 5 minutes into flight.
About 60% throttle at about 40 amp draw, which is just right for me.
Right slope.
Okay, now we're in the danger area. Look, just past this ridge here, it drops down, and I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down into that bowl.
6 miles out.
I'd lose my line of sight. I'm turning around to take a look at the home point. There I am, right in the middle.
Home point, straight in the middle. Good.
Just kind of getting a mental picture of where I'm at and where I'm going to go.
There's no spot.
So I'm going to head on up to that white bank. What I do is I brake.
Work file. We're going to go to here.
I start and stop the recording of the Blackmagic file once in a while. I've got a toggle triggered up to the beep command that turns on and off the camera.
2500. We only leave up here at 66,000.
What that does is, instead of having one huge long file during the flight, I can make 3 smaller files that are more manageable in post-production. So I'm pretty much at the snowbank that I can see from the ground. I get up here, I'm going to turn around and look back at the home point, double check. And I'm just trying to fly smooth now because this is what I want to film.
There's tracks. Automobile tracks. Quad. Breaking up some stuff here.
Looking back at home point again. I can see it right in the middle. Got to watch those trees so they don't block it. There's been some snowmobilers in this area, so I'm going to sort of follow their tracks a little bit up the hill here because I can see that from the ground and I know that's a safe path without getting trees to block my FPV feed. So this is the flight plan so far. Everything's going good. Nothing exciting up here. I don't see any snowmobilers. I set the exposure in the camera in advance for this bright white snow. We've got an ND filter on it. We've got a 3-stop ND filter. And I've discovered where this camera's optimal lens setting is. I'm using the LIION 7.5 lens on this Blackmagic Naked Pocket Cinema camera. Turning around, looking at the home point again. Just making sure I don't block it with those trees. And just below us is a small little wall, a little rock wall, and I've seen that from the ground, so I'm going to go up higher, turn around, and then dive down that wall, follow that wall down. So this is about the end as far as I can go. I go past these hills here, I'll lose my signal. Everything's going good. Now I'm going to drop down, and while I'm dropping down here, I'm watching my home point to make sure I don't block it by trees. So it's a combination of looking at the home point and looking at where I'm going to crash into, and just keeping it as low as I can. Right there, look at that. Barely see the home point. Time to pull up. See those trees in the foreground. If I get too low in this little valley here, I'll lose my FPV feed, which will happen here soon. Gonna check my stats again. Make sure I got power. 3800, 3850, 60 milliamps. So far so good.
3800.
At this point, I'm just watching the milliamps and trying not to lose signal and get behind some trees. And it's very disorienting up here, so I'm just trying to figure out which way to fly. I think I'll go back up again.
4000.
I'm at about 4,000 milliamps used. I need to start heading back at normally around 6,500. Most flights, it depends how steep the return flight is and how far. I'm just trying to scope out this area and film it. And now just do a little filming here. I'm going to lose my signal here. Watch this. Right there, it got too low in those trees. Those trees
The low spot there.
blocked my direct signal line of sight. So that's the hard part of flying up here, is getting too low. What I'll do is I'll look at this video later in detail, and if I come back here again, I'll map it out better in my head and fly lower.
46.
We're at 4,600 milliamps used. Like I said, I gotta think about heading back around 6,500 or less. But I don't like flying up here by myself. A car could pull up and
48.
you know, someone could start trying to talk to me. I don't have any help today, so I'm going to cut it short. Plus I got bugs in my ears. Looking at the home point again. I do a lot of that in this flight because I don't really have this terrain memorized yet. Sitting here trying to decide where to fly, which way to go up. I'll go here up to the right a little bit, turn around, and then try to come between these trees right here underneath us, I think. Here we go. Try to get a little lower. I'm just watching the home point, that yellow in the middle. I'm going to try to just keep that in my vision as I fly. Yeah. Camera's starting to buff it a little bit because this quad gets unstable as it goes fast in the pitch direction. Just an inherent design issue with this particular build and the camera and the battery. This quad is overloaded. It's got too much camera and too much battery on it. Then I've decided to head on back, I believe.
5,500.
Actually, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to decide what to do. Do I go up again? Do I have enough power to climb up again and make another drop down? I just broke the video file there again, just to make the file smaller. Trying to decide, do I go up again? Or do I, you know, how much power is it going to take to fly home? It's a pretty flat level flight on the way home, so it takes more amps to do that. So I've decided that I'm going to play it conservatively and start heading back home, because I'm at 6,000 milliamp hours. 1.3 miles out, heading back. Now I'm just trying to fly a battery saving profile so that I have plenty of power when I land, which I should. This is the most dangerous part of the flight, having enough power to land. And I try to plan my flight so I do my climbing at the beginning and I come downhill at the end.
100 feet.
These yellow trees are where roads are, up in this area. There's a little bit of a crosswind up here, I'll discover, coming from the right to the left, closer to the takeoff spot. The worst scenario is to be low on battery and have to climb back to the takeoff spot. That would not be good, because then that would cause a big draw on the battery and the voltage would drop. And these motors spin because of voltage. So you want to plan your flights here so that you, like I said, you climb at the beginning when you have lots of voltage, and you kind of coast downhill, so to speak, on the way home. And it seems to work out. So actually, it turns out I've got plenty of power, more than I need. But right about now, the bugs have discovered me, and I've got things in my ears. So I'm done. Now the wind's starting to blow, so you have to crab to the right.
Well, you know, bugs on me. I'm sweating. Wind here.
Yeah, it's hot too. I'm getting all sweaty. So anyways, time to land.
1,000. Get a leopard.
So now I got to come slow because of the wind, but I got to watch out for these brown trees. My goggles don't show the trees very well, these brown trees. This is my danger zone right here. It's hitting the top of one of these dead trees. Don't want to do that, because if I lost this quad anywhere around here, it'd be gone. It's so rough in here. I'm going to try to hit my pad as an aim point, but I never do. This road is so dusty. Look at this. Oh yeah, I didn't put the pad down today, that's right.
Just power that down. That down.
Yeah, we survived.
Save an exit.
Save everything, shut it down.
End recording.
Good flight. Anyways, hey, thanks for watching.
Well, that was nerve-wracking, but it's all good. We got a good flight in. We saw a little waterfall over there on the right, and then cruised up to the top, and there's some snowmobilers out today, but I didn't see them while I was flying around. So anyways, let's take a look at the video. Hope that came out. Last time we came here, we flew a whole flight up there and around and back, and the big camera was not recording. I had a technical glitch. So I got a whole 15 minutes of nothing on the last flight. But anyways, thanks for watching.